Welcome back, guys. I'm going to show you how to add a winch to the bed of your truck so that you can pull heavier items into it and not risk falling and dying every time you load your motorcycle in the back of your truck. Cut to the scene of me almost dying loading my motorcycle in the back of the truck. So I've got myself in a bit of a predicament. We had the strap to that ramp brake, and now I'm the YouTube video of the guy who crashed his Harley loading it in the back of a truck. Stay tuned. We'll find a way out of this. Luckily, there's no damage yet, other than to that corner of that ramp, which is fine. So this will be interesting. And we're back. Okay, let's open up the winch and see what we got here. Look at that. It's an owner's manual. Drum roll, please. Hey! Wow, it's actually smaller than I thought, which is kind of nice because I don't need a big one. This is actually probably about twice the amount of pulling power I need, 2,500 pounds. But I bought it because it has the wireless remote. So there's our winch. Put that back there. Box of goodies. We'll make believe that says Warren. We got the Fairlead. We got the wireless remote, which I really wanted, like I said. Got the wired remote, which might come in handy. We got some hardware. We got some software. Just kidding, there's no software on this. Solenoid box. We'll have to find a way to mount this on a plate nicely. But yeah, it comes with a little bit of everything. It comes with a little free shackle. They really sold me on that one on the front of the box there. And we got the hook. The hookers are always important. I mean, the hook is always important. So I've got some jumper cables here for power off the battery of the truck. I'm going to mount this, I think the way that I would actually do it in real life. So I think I would be roughly centered, like so. Unscrew this fella. And then I'm thinking I can just go around the chain here, go back through this. I don't know if this is going to create like a weird pull angle. I guess it might, but we'll kind of see what happens. We're doing a little R&D here, a little experimentation. So that's obviously a little bit funky, but I'll try it. I'm going to just hook our cables up here. Take this, pull this out a little bit, and we'll just kind of give it a shot. Okay, let me turn this guy on. Hold it maybe. Okay, look at that. Okay, now that's gonna twist, which I kind of figured. Maybe we don't care though. Okay, we are back on the winch project here. I'm in the south, so it's actually warm outside, which is nice. First of all, I'm going to take this circuit breaker apart because I want to shorten these cables. I do not need them to be this long. So hopefully I can easily figure out a solution to that without making some really ugly splices. Okay, perfect. So those are just crimped down. So that's easy enough to deal with. So we're going to shorten all this up, and I will get back to you. Now I'm going to solder on the forklift plug connectors. They're way bigger than the wires. The problem is I want to use this size so that it's compatible with bigger winches in case I want to do something with the front end or, you know, have a winch to pull out the truck. So they're going to look a little funny, but I'll solder them in there and they'll be super solid. It's just going to be kind of a pain in the butt, but I'll show you how I'm going to go about doing this. First things first, I'm just going to kind of crimp these down a little bit just to make it closer to the wire size because this is such a huge difference. And we're going to probably wind up filling this with solder, but if I can get down to the bottom here and fully pinch this down, that'll just save a ton of solder because there's no need to have the wire that far in. So we're going to attempt to do that. I can also get a hammer and a punch and do it too. And now we get to soldering. Old school style with real heat. You can use a regular soldering iron, but if you're trying to get this much solder in something, I find this a lot easier. There's that. So we're going to fill that puppy up pretty good. We're going to take our wire. We're going to stick her in there. All right. It's not the best soldering job I've ever done. I'm going to be completely honest with you. We're going to have to get a little bit creative with some heat shrink, I think. But it'll be all right. Just like that, we got our connector on there. I don't love the way this looks. I might do something different here. Maybe make like a jumper to this size or something, but whatever. For now, that's the way it's going to be. It'll work fine, so I'm not worried about that. And then we'll keep moving. Here, I'm making a mounting plate for the winch. I determined after using it a few times, as you saw in the beginning of the video, it would turn sideways, and when you were trying to get the bike into the bed of the truck, it would just want to flip the winch over. It'd wind on one side of the spool, and the cable was getting all jammed up. So I realized I needed a plate, and I figured the best way to do this would be to utilize the auxiliary gas tank I have in the truck, build it so that the plate sits under that, helps get held down by that, and then the winch still attaches to that chain in the front of the bed for the actual strength when you're pulling on it. And I think that turned out pretty good, as you'll see here. The plate's a little bit redneck, if you will, but I didn't quite have the right tools, so I just got to go back and clean up some of the edges and the holes, but it gets the job done. I really wanted to just focus on getting the bike in the bed. This is the first time I ever used the winch setup, and so I didn't talk during the video, but pretty self-explanatory. I'm just winching it up slowly but surely. I'm kind of guiding the bike up as I go. I am in neutral. If you really want to make this a touch safer, you could leave it in first, kind of pull through first gear, and then if you had to dump the clutch to kind of act as a rear brake, you could. I could get to the front brake quick enough, I think. Plus, I just don't envision the cable breaking. I mean, you'd really have to screw up. It's a 2,000-pound winch. The bike's 600 pounds. It's not like it's stuck in mud like a four-wheeler or something, so it's really way, way overkill for this use. So I'll keep an eye on the cable, make sure it's not rusty or, the wiring's all cut up. All right, so what you just saw there was the winch pulling this thing up. You can see it in the bed there. I'll show it to you in a minute, but that is buttery smooth, guys. That is so much easier than farting around with the dang, trying to drive it up under its own power. It's just so sketchy. That makes me feel 10 million times better. Let's get her strapped down. I'm just strapping the bike down at this point. You guys can kind of see how I go about doing that. The winch really isn't in the way, but if you wanted to do two bikes straight on in the bed, you could just take the winch out of the kind of trailer hitch setup that I have in there. I'll get you a close-up on that in a second here. Hey guys, so I moved the auxiliary gas tank out of here just to give you a little bit better visual, but the tank would sit right here. I just have this here right now, but it would sit kind of in this corner. The winch is right next to it. This plate is held down via the ratchet strap over the tank. I just threw it on there for now. But you can see here, the winch is nicely secured and mounted. Obviously this plate moves a little bit because it's not really strapped down, but we've got extra strength from this chain. I really need to kind of tighten up the connection there, but with the tank in the way, it holds this chain back. But then we just got the forklift plugs, got the caps for them so that when you unplug this, it doesn't get water in it. And then that simple wireless pendant, as you saw earlier. The only thing I don't like is this, sometimes the buttons stick a little, but not a huge deal. They do have a wired as well. When you're all said and done, you just unplug it. They're pretty stiff because they're new. Put your caps on, which don't really stay on that well, but they're okay. This kind of holds up against the chain nice. I got rubber grommets there so you won't get electrocution or electrical fire. Then you just pull the pin. I already left the cotter pin out of it. But pull that out, and that's it. Easy peasy. Then finally, when it's all said and done, I can just kind of store it under a bench. Doesn't take up a lot of room. I do put that plate in the garage as well sometimes, but I'm just going to leave it in the truck for now. I'm not driving the truck around a lot. It's not that heavy anyway. It's a F-250. It's a 7,000 pound vehicle. What's another 5-10 pounds in it? Just one less thing I got to take out. It is nice to be able to fully remove it though, in case you didn't want the receiver in the way. If you were going to put like a, plywood or 2x4s or whatever in, and you want that extra few inches without having to go over it. But that's it. So anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.